Hello, PointPay family. This is me, Vladimir Kardapoltsev, and this is Diana. Hello, Diana.
Hello, everyone.
Diana was kind enough to record all of your questions through the form that you've submitted, that we've sent you earlier, and she will be asking me those questions later in this little AMA session that we host every single last Thursday of uh, of the month. So this is our kind of traditional bit that we do every single day, every single month for almost 5 years. So let's not break those traditions. The hosts have changed, but I remain the same. Uh, as you can see, I'm yet again in a slightly different location. I'm still in my travels, and it's plus 35 Celsius outside because it's heat wave in Europe, so do excuse me if I sweat profusely. This time round, it's only going to be one session because it's the summer. We do have quite a lot of updates and works, but yeah, it's not going to be two sessions this time round, so it's just going to be one. But slightly longer one that we usually do. So hopefully next month we'll have slightly longer one, but this one it's going to be the only one. So yes, so at this AMA, we'll be reviewing the results of June, as we always do, and the entire second quarter of 2026, discussing our plans for the third quarter of this year, as well as answering many of your questions that you have sent in. But before we move on to our first topic, I'd like to remind you to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, share your thoughts. Any thought will do. You can say, go Vlad, go PXP. You have lovely glasses. You look very sweaty. It is all true, but leave us any comments, anything really will do. Supporting this video is quite simple and it helps us tremendously, and most importantly, it's free. So thank you very much. So let's talk about June. So it has been as I mentioned before, a very hot month here in Europe, and the PointPay has been just as busy and as exciting as always. And the most important event that we had this year, it was our special date, June the 19th. So that's the PointPay's official birthday. So we might have started PointPay slightly before that, but we've decided all as a team that this is going to be the day when we celebrate our official company's birthday. And it's not just any birthday, it's our special 8th year anniversary. So right now, PointPay has entered its 9th year, and it's truly an incredible milestone. Just to think about kind of everything we've been through over those years, from ups and downs in the crypto industry, major platform upgrades, complete redesigns of the whole platforms and of the ecosystem, releases of new products, new blockchains, everything happened over the last 8 years. And I think on my watch, it has been kind of the most stable and exciting period in the company. And obviously, all of the periods were quite challenging. Running a company is not an easy feat, but I think we did most certainly have moments of incredible and remarkable achievement and success within our company. Um, but obviously, none of this would have been possible without you, the Point Payers, the Point Pay family. So, our loyal users who continue to choose Point Pay and use our services year after year. So, thank you all very much for being with us, staying with us, continuing your journey along us. It's incredibly important for me and for our company. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with us on this incredible journey. So, and of course, we couldn't kind of celebrate such an occasion without launching a couple of special events. And naturally, there were kind of rewards involved for you as well. So, one of those events was, well, it already came to an end, was a giveaway, for users who have completed several quite simple requirements on our social media, and the prices included USDT and VIP levels in our platform. So I think it's a great boost for those who are just beginning their journey on the PointPay platform. And the tasks were quite simple. So hopefully all of you have participated, the ones who are watching this video right now. However, there is still one event that you can participate in right now as well, and it's our feature contest. So the concept is incredibly simple. So submit a unique and interesting idea that could help us improve as a company, a new feature on our exchange. I don't know, something that you always wanted to see on other exchanges but you haven't. Explain how it would benefit other users, and send it through our dedicated form. So, and you can find it on our website and on all of our social media posts. So yeah, it would be very helpful for us if you could fill this out on July the 1st. So in just a few days, the contest will end. And our team, including myself, some marketing managers, will review every single submission, evaluate every single idea, and select the best ones. So the winning idea will be added to our development plan. Right now, I'm writing the development plan for, not even writing, but approving the development plan for Q2 of 2027. So, we like to plan at least a year in advance, at least roughly. So, your idea could be included in one of those plans, and the winner will receive $100 in PXP tokens as a token of gratitude for your amazing suggestions. Um, so yeah, if you have an idea that you think that will improve our company, improve PointPay, it's been sitting at the back of your mind for a while, I think it's perfect time for you to share this idea with us, so we could implement it. And also, I'd like to point out that even if your idea doesn't take up the first place, we may still implement it in one form or another, or do check our roadmap. Maybe something that you are suggesting has already been added to our roadmap. So please don't hesitate to submit your ideas, even if you are not sure that it's going to be useful for everybody, or it's just going to be useful for you. The more feedback that we receive, the merrier, and the better we could make PointPay for all of our users. So what else that we have to offer? I think before we move on from the anniversary topic, I'd like to make a brief detour. During the previous AMA session, I announced a much larger event that was originally planned to coincide with the PointPay's birthday. Unfortunately, the project turned out to be a bit more complex in terms of development, and we had to kind of reprioritize certain bits, in order to put more resources into development of what we're doing right now. So yeah, we haven't been able to polish it completely, so we've managed to code it, but we weren't able to finish off the front end in time. So yeah, I'd like to apologize to everybody who was particularly looking forward to that event. So we obviously learned a lot from that experience, and I apologize profusely for promising you um, a football, I think it was a football related event last time round. So, yeah, we've decided not to do it, unfortunately, and to reprioritize the resources into kind of deeper development of our platform. So now let's move on to the next topic, the release of more than 20 new futures contracts. I've covered this in detail in previous AMA sessions. So the first contract was introduced on May the 19th, so not too long ago, exactly almost a month ago. And while the final editions kind of reached the platform on June the 19th, all of these contracts are now live and available on the futures market on PointPay, and it's ready to go and for you to trade and to explore all of those features. Or if you'd rather wait for a bit longer, you can jump into the futures trading with the upcoming release of the new futures related tasks on the reward hub of our platform. So previously, all of the tasks on the reward hub were to do with the spot trading. So now we've managed to code some tasks to do with the futures trading. I think this is kind of mostly what everybody else is doing. And, I think it won't be just a small addition. We're talking about complete progression chain of challenges and increasing rewards at every stage of your onboarding on the platform. So what you will need to do, you will simply need to trade futures on PointPay a certain number of days and reach specific trading volumes. But obviously, with futures reaching trading volumes, even the modest ones, is quite easy. And the longer you trade, the further you will progress through the challenge chains, and the larger your rewards will be. And at the moment, the final task is, yeah, just give me a second, guys. Yeah, sorry about that. So the longer you trade, the further you progress through the challenge chains, and the larger your rewards will be. And at the moment, the final task is planned to offer up to $150 in voucher rewards, which is, I think, quite large. And in total, you will be able to earn close to $300 worth of vouchers on our platform. That's a great way to save on trading fees and on any kind of futures activity. So the release is scheduled for the late June or early July. So be sure to check it at our reward hub regularly. I think they're planning to release it tomorrow on Friday, but it could be the case that they might release it sometime next week. So I have to check with my development team. We usually release things on Thursday evenings, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think I've seen it in the release, but they might exclude it at the last moment. But yeah, this is what is planned. And while we're discussing the releases, I'd also like to take a look at the Q2 of our roadmap. So let's go through it together and see what we have managed to accomplish so far. So we've done further kind of design improvements on our website, which we have completed in full. We've invested significant effort into kind of technical side of the platform and address all of the questionable kind of areas, polished many small details, improved the overall experience. In terms of UI, we've added a couple of new buttons. We've upgraded every single page with a new design. So, so what we've also done, we've introduced new tools for traders, partially completed but not kind of fully released yet. So the functionality is quite extensive and technically complex. So It requires kind of additional testing and refinement, but currently we're targeting for a Q2 early Q2 release, I think, sometime next month, hopefully. So, what else we've done? We've done the small conversion of balances to PXP, completed and already available to all users. It's a relatively small feature, but you've asked for it for almost 3 or 4 years, so we've managed to add it to our roadmap to save time and kind of reduce frustration, or even help users to make a better use of their funds. So what else has been done? So we've also released the AI select feature, so it's currently going through the testing phase and kind of final optimization phase. So we're not ready to announce the release date yet, but it has been fully coded. So now it's kind of going through the final release processes. So it should be released in early Q3 as well. We thought that we might release it at the end of this month, but yeah, it unfortunately needed some additional training for the AI model. Although, that concludes our kind of public Q2 roadmap. There are several additional updates I think worth mentioning. So we've improved the onboarding experience by adding new guidance kind of and tips and pop-ups throughout the platform, the Web3 terminal, and kind of all of the different areas. We've upgraded the P2P flows, focusing primarily on the platform's technical performance, which includes kind of loading times, optimizations, security features, trading protocols. So now you should feel that it kind of goes a lot faster and smoother and more responsive. We've added animated onboarding screens as well, which I think is quite important, for user engagement, especially at the initial stages of logging into the platform. We've updated the APIs infrastructure for businesses and professional traders who use external kind of interfaces. It's quite a big chunk of our kind of revenue model. So we constantly make improvements to the APIs as well, because actually most of our volume comes from businesses and professional traders, not standalone traders. And we've continued improving withdrawal process. This one is kind of most frequently discussed topic. However, small delays will occur. We already, as I said before, moved towards the fully automated processes, but yeah, some delays may occur, but now it should be quicker and smoother, especially for the small balances, and it was unfortunately all to do with the regulatory compliance that we had to kind of fulfill before we could fully introduce it. And we will be introducing an AI assisted customer support. So it's not about replacing kind of real people within the platform, but instead I think the AI will help you with drafting responses and handling simple consultations, kind of answering common questions, because obviously none of you can be bothered to read our FAQs where we kind of discuss all of those topics. So when you contact the support, kind of the frequently asked questions will pop up, so it will read it, and it will make the life of our support staff a lot easier, hopefully, and we could process all of the tickets a lot faster, because unfortunately I think about 60% of the questions could be answered via the FAQ. So it's kind of repeating the same information. So but yes, people will still be there and they will still answer your questions related to your KYC, your accounts, etc., etc. So those things will be handled by the people, because AI doesn't have access to the internal data, because that would be a security breach. But like most common questions, AI will answer it, and it will help you to draft your questions as well. And actually, yeah, so that's where the updates end, but it gives us perfect opportunity to talk about what we plan to achieve in the next quarter in July, August, and September of 2026. So we will be expanding our futures trading. So we will broaden our derivatives, offering offerings with more kind of additional trading pairs, have refined order tools and enhanced kind of risk management layers kind of suitable for institutional strategies. It's worth mentioning that right away, that part is kind of this objective has already been kind of in part completed, and we've recently added a large number of new futures contracts. As I mentioned earlier, the last batch was added only 5 days ago. So today is 25th, 6 days ago, on the 19th of July. We will be also adding the parental control release. So we will deliver a secure account oversight system that allows guardians to define the spending limits, restrict features, and monitor activity with junior or supervised accounts. Um, while it may seem like a niche feature, I think it's an incredibly valuable feature and very practical one. You know, it attracts many newcomers and less experienced users. So having a functionality like this can be, I think, hugely beneficial. And if you introduce someone to the platform, you will not only be able to offer advice, but also help to protect them from unnecessary risks and keep an eye on the kind of on important account activity. Um, we will also start this trading simulation feature. So that should start in early to mid August. So it's kind of an interactive simulator that uses real market feeds to support the trading and kind of education and structured gamified challenges on our platform. I think all of us sometimes want to play with the market, with our money, place an order that we normally wouldn't place, and test kind of an unusual strategy, or simply experiment without worrying about the consequences, you know. So by the end of 2026, you will have an opportunity to do exactly that and learn, experiment, have a couple of, you know, have a bit of fun and improve your trading skills without putting real funds at risk. And personally, this feature is the one that I look forward to the most. So what else? Finally, we'll also complete kind of several remaining tasks that we weren't able to release over from Q2, so that I mentioned earlier. So that will be everything that is coded, you know, because we have to go through series of tests, and you know, as we develop as a platform, all of our features become more complex and they need a lot more testing that we would usually need to do. So unfortunately, those things will be released slightly later because didn't account for the we didn't account for the kind of the rigorous testing that we've decided to do. So that will be carried over for the release in early Q2. With that, I will conclude the informational part of today's AMA session and move directly to your questions. You sent quite a lot of them, and Diana was kind enough to, as I said before, to collect them, to read them, to compile them. So Diana, fire ahead. Thank you.
Sure. Let's start with the first question. I would like to see lower transaction fees, faster customer support, and more payment operations for African users, especially in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay. Well, hello to all of our viewers from Africa. Let's go through your points one by one. So, did you see that? I don't know. Maybe it's so hot. Sorry about that, the flickering light, you know. Yes, hello to all of our users from Africa. Lower transaction fees. At the moment, I think our fees remain incredibly competitive compared to other platforms, especially if you're using the user level system. That is why I'd encourage you to kind of take advantage of the opportunities to increase your levels. We don't have any plans to currently reduce our trading fees because we still have to make money somehow, which is hard enough in this current economy for trading platforms. But yeah, currently we don't have any plans for further fee reduction. I think they are at the bottom level across the market, but we'll be happy to introduce them, kind of the lower fees, as soon as the circumstances will allow. Also, as I said before, use user levels. You can literally reduce it to zero. If you use them correctly, you can participate in some of our events when we give away kind of the top tier user levels as well. So that's a way to do it. With regards to the faster customer support, right now our average response time is usually a couple of hours. For more complex cases, it may take up to 48 hours for kind of partially difficult situations. But in the near future, as I discussed earlier, we are introducing AI assistance. So, unfortunately, 60% of the queries that are submitted to our exchange are all mentioned in the FAQ section. And pretty much people are just, regurgitating and recycling the same information over and over again. So we'll be taking off that load from our customer support so they could answer the harder queries a lot faster. And obviously, sometimes, as I mentioned in the previous answer, the AI feature access to your will not have access to your account. So they won't be able to help you with, like, I don't know, KYC resolution, deposit resolution, stuff like that, because that would be a breach of data. I think it would be against the AI Act in the European Union and several other things. So, kind of general queries, the AI will help you. But yeah, for kind of harder cases, the customer support will still be there to help you, and we're not planning to reduce customer support. They're working hard enough. But yeah, and hopefully that will, increase the response time several times fold. What else did I want to say about the customer support? Yeah, I think that's it. And also, if you look at the other exchanges, if you've ever dealt with Binance or something like that, I had to once deal with Binance and they told me your query will be solved in 20 working days, aka a month. So we resolve those issues within 48 hours usually. If it's something very, very complex, it might take up to a week. If it's some kind of dispute resolution, disputed this, disputed that. But usually our support is incredibly efficient in solving all of those issues very quickly. And with AI support, this will just take off the load of regurgitating the same answers over and over again, and they would be able to concentrate on the real cases submitted by our wonderful users. And with regards to the payment options available in Africa, this one I think is a bit more complicated at the moment. Regulated crypto financial platforms and always kind of clear and consistent across Africa. We're quite consistent across Europe, across America, across South America, across Asia even, but Africa is a bit of a patchwork of different regulations. Well, in most part, it's unregulated at all, including the what did you say? The Democratic Republic of Congo. And as a result, it's not always easy for us to find payment providers willing to operate within your specific jurisdictions, because we rely on kind of aggregators, so we rely on 2 or 3 payment providers who cover 95% of the market, but sometimes they don't cover like a specific country. For example, we don't have anyone covering North Korea, we don't have anyone covering Russia, we don't have anyone covering certain jurisdictions. And I think possibly the Congo, DRC falls within that definition, unfortunately. But that being said, we're always actively working on issues like that, and I'll ask my business development team to have a look into it, and maybe we could connect a kind of multi-provider that supports payments within the Republic of Congo and Africa in broader terms. And I would like to add, as a CEO of PointPay, that PointPay sees Africa as a highly promising region for future growth. And there are currently some obstacles that kind of affect the user experience in countries such as Congo, but we are actively working to address them. And I hope I'll be able to announce the positive developments in the upcoming AMA sessions, although I cannot promise anything yet. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Bitcoin was trading around $60,000 in June. Are you concerned about that?
Of course. You know, we are concerned about the decreasing trading volumes as a platform, but PointPay's operations do not depend actively on the price of Bitcoin, but we continue to develop and operate and deliver kind of new updates regardless of the market volatility. But obviously, lower crypto price and kind of lower overall sentiment means that the trading volumes are lower and that the activity within the market as a whole is lower, meaning that activity on our exchange is lower and we make money on the activity on our exchange. And obviously, if the overall activity is lower, that means that we're making less money. But directly, the price of Bitcoins per se doesn't affect us in the slightest. It affects the overall market and the sentiment of the overall market, which in turn affects us, if that makes sense. So, yeah, it's sentiment, user activity, and the overall trading volume that concerns us.
Okay. When will PointPay return to higher rankings? The exchange is currently in the top 100, while it used to be in the top 20.
It was in the top 20 quite briefly, very long time ago, when the market was different, when it was the Wild West, when the regulation was different. And I do remember those times. We were number 13 at one point in time. But yeah, I think it's kind of one of our strategic objectives, but the reality that exchange rankings don't always reflect the actual state of a platform. We can focus our efforts on improving the rankings, and we can focus on developing new features, products, and updates. But given the current market conditions across the crypto industry as a whole, we've chosen to prioritize the development. But I can assure you, once we shift more attention towards marketing and ranking related metrics, we will be able to climb back to the top 20. I'm sure of it, and potentially even maybe top 10. But also, it's important to note that when we were in top 20, the composition, the way that they do the ranking on all of the websites was entirely different. Now, the ranking is, goodness knows what goes in there, and the fact that we constantly remain in a comfortable top 70 position is quite good. But I personally think there is going to be a cull with the Mika and kind of overall kind of market sentiment being quite low and etc. I think quite a lot of crypto exchanges will cease to exist quite soon, because the down market has been going on for way too long and the sentiment has been bad for a very long time. We're good in terms of the exchange because our expenses are low, but some exchanges have very bloated kind of staff, and yeah, unfortunately because of that, unfortunately, because of that, they will have to cut their costs and maybe move out of the current market. So we'll see.
Okay. The next question is P2P doesn't seem to be a heavily used feature. Why is that?
Um, P2P was originally designed to be a more of a niche alternative within our centralized exchange ecosystem, kind of allowing users to trade and exchange directly with one another. At the same time, we already offer direct buying and selling through the payment providers, as well as functionality of a DEX, which is pretty much the same. So while P2P may not have a massive kind of user base right now, it is constantly used and continues to serve like a its intended purpose. So I'm confident that with additional marketing efforts and kind of even this more niche product will become successful. But quite a lot of exchanges moved away from that completely, and they stopped their P2P operations. We've introduced it rather kind of intuitively, but I think it was always we always wanted it to be part of our ecosystem, so we've added it. Why not? It doesn't cost us money to have it. It's another opportunity to generate cash and to improve the overall user experience. So we'll see how it works. Maybe it will find its niche. We see quite a lot of Turkish users, using it at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, and the last question is my account has been blocked. Please restore my access. I've already contacted support. I've also noticed that I'm not the only person who has been blocked recently. Do you have anything to say about that?
So every account restriction on our platform has a reason behind it. So we do not block accounts without a cause, of course. So the most common reason for the account, it's not a ban, it's kind of a freezing, is the abuse, historic, quite a lot of times, abuse of the referral programs, operating multiple accounts as a single individual. And a trend that we have seen most recently, kind of risk-related flags identified by our security system, because we are currently in the process of applying for a MiCA license and we are regulated in other jurisdictions. We have to keep up with the kind of the security and the AML procedures, and we've implemented quite a lot of updates to our security 2 months ago. So I think it has been the case that our security has identified either, so for quite a lot of users, it's a historical abuse of the referral program during the ICO, when we identified that, I don't know, a person might have been using 20 accounts, or even 2 accounts. It's still illegal under our terms. Or using multiple accounts as one individual, or kind of other red flags, maybe withdrawing money to sanctioned exchange, or withdrawing money to an account related to a sanctioned jurisdiction. So yes, we've introduced quite a lot of security features quite recently in the last months, 2 months or so. So I think all of those has kicked in, and especially we managed to clear the backlog dating back to the ICO time uh, with the referral program abuses. So people who abused the referral program during the ICO, all of those accounts have been either suspended or banned or under investigation. So I think it might be related to that issue, and it might be related to the issue of our new security update. Because what I've seen, with our VIP group, the people who hold quite a lot of PXPs, that has been the case. Quite a lot of people from our VIP group fell within the ban, uh, and our security analyst explained it. It was because they quite a lot of them abused the referral system. Even if you open two accounts, it's still uh, is an issue, and we managed to clear the backlog with regards to the ICO referral program abuses. Yeah. So yeah, I think those cases are kind of quite straightforward. It could be related to AML, it could be related to withdrawals, it could be related to withdrawals to identified addresses within sanctioned countries, even though kind of most addresses don't have a locational footprint. Unfortunately, there are some programs like chain analysis that is connected to us, so they flag certain accounts and they say, and they give us reports as well, so for example, if you deposited money during the ICO to two referral accounts from the same wallet, that's going to be flagging it. Or if you try to withdraw the money from, like, for example, if in our system it would look like, I don't know, 5 unrelated accounts, but then you deposit money from the same IP address to the same wallet, that's obviously going to flag in our system as well. So we're trying to deal with the historical fraud within our system, and we had this task going on for a very long time. But fortunately, with the AI, we now can identify those things very, very quickly, because before we had to use manual system. Now we've implemented kind of certain scripts that kind of generate all of those what ifs, and they flag those accounts. Then those accounts could be banned and you receive a notification, and then a physical person will go and check the findings from this AI report. But yeah, that's what we are doing. I'm sorry for misunderstanding. We might ask you for some additional information, for example, but sometimes, it's clear. Yeah, so for example, if during the ICO, you've created 3 accounts, you collected bonuses for, I don't know, 3 referrals, but then you've deposited all of those accounts from the same wallet, or, you've created 5 wallets with different email addresses, and then you withdrew all of that money into the same address. We can see all of that as well. So that could be the reasons why the flags were in place. So I think this is it for now. So thank you all very much for joining me today. I think this is all of the questions that we have. So if you didn't see a question featured here and you would still like to submit the one, for our review, the submission link is still open. So Diana will collect this. She will have a look and she will hopefully ask me this question at the next AMA session at the end of July. Feel free to send your questions to us anytime. The link is always the same. With that being said, it's time for me to say goodbye. See you all again at the end of July. Thank you very much, Diana, for helping me out today. And yes, so this time around we've decided to collect everything into one AMA session, so there is not going to be a second one at the end of next week. If you enjoyed this video, yet again, please like and subscribe, comment anything that you would like, share this video with your fellow friends. Thank you all again, and have a wonderful day and have a wonderful weekend. I hope it is not as warm at your place as it is in here, but for me it's 35 degrees and my AC decided not to work, but I don't think I'm too wet. So I'll see you all again next month, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.